This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the intricate details on a model, questioning how you could possibly find the time to perfectly paint each tiny element? That was exactly my challenge with the cape on this creature caster model. She features an exquisitely detailed chainmail cape, and having already painted her armor with great care and precision, the cape demanded equal attention. However, painting each of those tiny rings by hand was out of the question for me.
That's where today's technique comes into play.
Perfectly positioned between the quickness of dry brushing and the precision of edge highlighting, this method bridges the skill gap you didn't even know existed. When looking at highly detailed and textured areas like this, one's first reaction might be to dry brush. While dry brushing is fast and easy, it comes at the price of precision.
These details are rather shallow, making it difficult to get the paint just on the edges of each link of chain. Our second option is edge highlighting, but since the texture is up and down the entire cape and not just on the edges, that too seems difficult. Neither of these traditional methods quite fit the bill, which is why I developed this third technique.
The technique is called flat lighting, named because it uses the flat side of your brush while giving similar effects to edge highlighting. It is the action of rolling your size 1 or 2 round brush into your paint and gently dragging the side of your brush down your miniature, just like dry brushing. Using the side of your brush helps give you more precision in the amount of pressure and precision in your aim while applying paint to your model, therefore allowing you to hit different depths of your miniature and all those little nooks and crannies that dry brushing misses. I especially love to use this technique on hair and fur, as it's such a fast way to paint what otherwise could be a tedious task if done with the tip of your brush. You'll need your model, paint, a wet palette, and a round brush that has good snap. Snap is how well a paintbrush retains its shape after bending. You can test for snap by pulling your fingers across the brush and seeing if it jumps right back up to that nice round brush shape. Using a paintbrush that has lost its snap can make this technique more difficult, as the softness of the brush means you will have to apply more pressure to achieve results, therefore losing that ability for precision. However, this technique is rough on your brush, so I don't recommend using your pride and joy favorite Winsor Newton brush. Start by priming your area in its shadow color. For this model, I'm, of course, using purple. Then I mix up my colors from dark to light, using the same colors I did on the rest of the armor. I'm using a mixture of Adam Smart paints, which have very vibrant colors, with this gorgeous purple from Army Painter Fanatic,
to get this beautiful gradient of greens perfect for my Plague Queen. Next, the smart thing to do would have been to paint the general highlights and shadows of the cape before I started my flat lighting. However, that's not what I did. But we'll talk more about that later.
Flat lighting is a great and easy way to make your miniature look fantastic fast. And if you want the same thing for your website or online presence, then you should check out Squarespace.
With Squarespace's new design intelligence, you can have a great website using cutting-edge AI tools in just minutes.
Combine that with Squarespace payments, the easiest way to manage all your transactions in one place, and of course, my favorite flexible design templates with drag and drop features, Squarespace is a no-brainer for creating your perfect website. When you're ready to start, head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use code LYLAMEV to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Alright, back to painting.
Okay, let's start painting.
I'm rolling my brush in my dark green and pulling it along the wet palette into a fine point to remove excess paint. Rolling your brush into that perfect point is not because we need the point for detail work, but because it's an easy marker to prove that we have not accidentally overloaded the brush. Next, I'm placing the brush against the miniature and pulling it down the cape to hit the raised edges of the chainmail. I'm working section by section, doing a few light passes, then checking my work to see if my pressure is right. The harder you push, the deeper into the recesses your paint will be applied.
And since this is the darkest color I'm applying, I'm placing this across the entire cape and using harder pressure than I will with my lighter colors.
Next is my middle green. I'm working the same way, loading the brush halfway with paint and working in small sections down the cape. This time I'm using a lighter hand, so again I only hit those more raised edges. I like to start lighter and apply more pressure as I work. If your pressure was too light on your first pass, you can always do a second pass. Once I feel confident in my pressure, I slowly work down the whole cape, hitting the raised ripples of the fabric. Just like in normal painting, the amount of brush that touches your model determines how much ground you will cover. When I'm painting large areas, I'm using the entire brush. But when painting small areas, I use just the tip of my brush to avoid getting paint on areas I don't want it. For my lightest green, I'm being far more sparing with where I apply my paint, dotting the paint onto the high points of the cape, including the shoulders and the highest curve of the ripples of the fabric.
Imagine that this lightest color is the edge highlighting of our model, and therefore will be done far more sparingly.
If you find that you have to push very hard in order to transfer the paint from your brush to the model, the paint is probably too thick or your brush is too dry. Paint likes to stick to dry bristles, so dampening your brush by dipping it into water and then removing excess water by dabbing it off to the side on a paper towel should give you the proper amount of moisture to help the paint leave your brush without drowning your model. Hi.
And this is when I realized the cloak just didn't look right. It wasn't feeling as believable as I was hoping it would, which is when I realized the problem was not in my flat lighting, but in the volumes in between my flat lighting.
To fix this, I glazed in some highlights on the high points of the cape, the shoulders, the top of each curve, etc. This did cover up my flat lighting, but it was super easy to redo.
There we have it, the perfect technique for the precision of edge highlighting and the speed of dry brushing. Let me know down in the comments. Have you ever seen this technique anywhere else, or did I really create a novel technique?
If you like what I do, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Go join me on Patreon. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.
Wow! Oh my god, Mochi, you almost fucking threw yourself on my desk. Hi.